Welcome to the Reflexology Podcast Network. Join us for the latest tips and tricks from experts in their fields, showing you how you can be happy, healthy, and more productive when using technology, either at home or at work. Remember, tech shouldn't have to hurt. Our motto is, everything healthful and helpful for the computer user. Enjoy the show. Rick and Pat. And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Reflexology Podcast Network. Hey, we're doing let me get you caught up here a little bit. A couple of weeks ago, my wife and I launched a new show, and it's called Chit Chat with Rick and Pat. And what we're doing is we're trying to find out if we can put together a diet specifically created for the computer user. And it's been a wonderful little adventure because we take the camera, webcam, and we take the blue microphone, and we put it up on the kitchen table, and we eat dinner, and we discuss the food and the labels and the ingredients and all this kind of stuff. Because what we want to do is we want to bring an entertaining show to you in the first place. Number two, we want to discuss the possibilities with you of, does the computer user really need a special diet? We think they do, simply because they're sedentary lifestyles. So we're going to be bringing you some fun, some entertainment, some hilarious anecdotes, and also some serious stuff too. I think you're going to enjoy this new program. So look for it on our website, Chit Chat with Rick and Pat. It's under one of the categories on the right-hand side. You'll see the categories tab. So anyway, you'll notice that I'm no longer using my pop filter. See the pop filter? See how big these things are? I mean, put it in front of my face, and my face disappears. Professional studio recorders always use these huge, great honking pop filters. And I was on the internet the other day, and I was watching videos of people that do professional voiceover work. You know, for animated cartoons and for auditions for, commercials and all that kind of stuff. And one of the premier voiceover technicians never uses a pop filter. He doesn't like it. His suggestion was to move the microphone either to the right or to the left, so you're not speaking directly at the microphone, so things will not pop when you go pop, pop, pop. So anyway, let's get rid of that. So that's gone. Hey, today is my birthday. Ah, yes, another year older, not necessarily another year wiser, but today I went out and bought myself a birthday present, and here's what I bought. We're going to very, very soon now, I'm so excited, be taking the Reflexology program out on the road. Ah, yes, I can't wait. I cannot wait to spread the gospel of Reflexology. And I bought today a product called M Audio AV40 reference monitor powered speakers for my notebook computer. Because when you want to go out on the road and produce a seminar system, and if you want to show anybody a video that you've done in studio, you want the sound to be as crisp and as clear as possible. So check it out, the M Audio AV40, if you want a really good reference monitor speakers for your notebook. Now, they're a little larger than the average notebook. They weigh in at about 14 pounds. But they say that this is an incredible speaker. They won, as a matter of fact, they won the award for the best reference monitor speakers in 2010. So I'm really excited. And I got them on a good deal. I mean, the Canadian and the American price were the same at $150. So how can you go wrong? Now, today I want to break down the philosophy and the principles that I have compared to my reflexology compared to a lot of other reflexologies. I present a hybrid type of reflexology. And let me explain that now. My teacher, Yvette Eastman, and I'll hold up her book. I don't know if you can see it because of the glare of the lights. You probably can't. But she wrote this book called Touchpoint Reflexology's The First Step, a Practical Approach to Better Health. Now, she wrote this book in 1985. It is 2011 now, so some years ago. But before she got into reflexology, she was either a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I can't remember. And the psychologist will be offended that I said psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist will be offended that I said psychologist. But she was one of them. So she studied the mind and how people react and their belief systems, and she really put together what I consider. She was a pioneer in explaining the principle of how reflexology really works. So let me read for you one of the first pages, and it says, Introduction, the Placebo Effect. Now, interesting enough, if you go on YouTube, you will find a whole bunch of videos that explain that the placebo effect is extremely powerful. It works. It can fit in your belief system. Do not discount the power of the placebo effect. Hard word to say. So let me just go into it, and I will read to you a little bit of what Yvette thinks reflexology is and tied in with the placebo effect. The fact is, reflexology works. How and why it works is now being intensely studied and interpreted. Researchers have observed and recorded the physical, mental, and emotional changes that occur when reflexology is used. But the effect that reflexology and the reflexologist have on these changes is still uncertain. Is it the button pressed that causes a response? Is it our intent, knowing what the reflex is, or is it both? Or is the answer entirely different? It may have to do with the placebo effect. You want to help your friend wants to please you and meet your expectations and will therefore feel better. There are many miracle stories in diverse forms of therapy. These often occur during a public demonstration. The cripple will walk, the blind will see, the cancer victim will shed their cancer. The single mind of an audience has a keen energy that can affect a great or spectacular result. Placebo effects on miracles depend on our individual concepts of what took place. Our beliefs and expectations bring about healing, forming an understanding of how healing has occurred. We approach healing through our belief systems and seek aid according to that system. At a hospital, you have a series of rituals: waiting for a bed, signing forms, costs of insurance discussion, room assignment, nurse attention, pills for sleep, pain and repair, prepping for operation, blood tests, and notoriously poor meals. Oh, she's got that right. These rituals work well for those who believe in them and for ailments that can only be treated through that belief system, i.e., broken bones, punctured spleen, or lung. To be an effective health practitioner of any system, you must learn the rituals which have value for both you and those who seek your aid. Each individual may require a different approach. Some approaches may seem strange because they do not yet fit with your view of the world, but they do work for those who accept them. Ritual often allows people to reintegrate, to get in touch with their bodies, minds, and emotions. The reflexology methodology or compression technique does the same. Sometimes a person feels better for just walking into your office. Another will require more and yet more because the touch alone was intrinsic to his awareness. Only when you touched him did he feel himself, and when you were finished, he may have felt desolate and disconnected. Trust is a major key to health. Trust is self in the ultimate aim. We are stepping stones in that process. People place themselves in our hands literally. Fear and loss of trust inhibit the giving and the receiving of healing. Exchange of trust, friendship, and information will aid that trust, destroy fear, and recreate health. Our job is reconnection, the ability to put people in charge of their own events in their lives. Health, wealth, success, joy, and especially their own recuperation. For their health, we can teach them which point to continue working to accelerate their progress, reduce discomfort, remove despondency, and regain their self-trust, self-health, and love. Work on the feet. That is your skill now. See, I thought it was really, really important that I read that page because when you take a look at a reflexologist, they promise a lot. And in the Eflexonics reflexology, we try to go as close to we can on the scientific principles. For example, I know for sure that certain reflexology points create endorphins, and that's a natural painkiller for the human body. That is scientifically proven. You cannot dispute that. So I use that in the program. Now, here's another thing. Because it's a hybrid system that I've created, I call it Reflexonics points. And let me explain. If a person, say for example, I'm working on a person and I'm working on their feet or their hands, and in the reflexology map world, the back of the hands in between the bones represent the back of the body, the back muscles. And here's when you start up here where the fingers are connected, that's the top of your back. And you work down the hand according to reflexology mapping, and the further down the hand you go, the further down the back it's supposed to replicate. Now, if the person does not believe in reflexology at all, we have a wonderful solution. Have you ever heard of progressive relaxation? Let me explain that. Progressive relaxation is when you take a certain part of your body, like a muscle, like for example your hand. If you want to relax your hand, you tighten it up as tight as you can, or to a point that is comfortable for you, and then you slowly release. So you have something to compare it to. You have the tightening of the hand that is tense, and then you relax that hand, and your mind and body automatically have a reference point. This is tense, and this is relaxed. Now, we do the same thing with our Reflexonics reflexology. While we're teaching in class people how to work the back of their hands, we get you to tense certain back muscles and then release them. What we're really doing is we're building in a trigger for you to work on your hand and trigger that response to your back when you're sitting right in front of your computer terminal. Because let's face it, there's some people out there that we're going to present this course to. They don't want to believe in reflexology. They think it's a waste of time. So why not turn that into a positive thing for them? Why not show them how to progressively relax and use the reflexology map on the hands and the feet and show them how they can use a system, a hybrid system, bridging reflexology and scientific progressive relaxation in one exercise so they can relax. You know, the more I thought about it, the more sense it made. So if people really like the idea of reflexology and they buy into that concept and they can use it, they're more apt to get better results with that. But people that don't buy into that belief system and use it, where are they? They're out in the dark. So I didn't want to leave anyone behind in this process. So when we go out into the marketplace to businesses, and when we present Reflexonics Point, it is not exactly reflexology. It is not just for the believers in reflexology. It's for everyone. So I thought this was really, really important. Now, let me give you another example. When I used to teach reflexology in the adult education program at local school boards, I don't know if you can see this, but what we would do is we would take pieces of paper, we'd put our hand on the paper, and then we'd take a pen and we would trace around the hand. And then I would have a slide projector in the front of the class, and I'd say, okay, this area of the hand, according to reflexology, is this area of the body. So I would get the students to either with different colored felt pens or crayons, we would make a little reflexology chart. And here's what happened. If I stand up in front of a room and I talk to people and I just give you the information, sometimes it doesn't stick. You have to physically do it. That's why I had them take a piece of paper, put their hand on it, trace around their hand, and then take crayons, and I'd say, okay, here's where the heart reflex is, here's where the lung reflex is, here's where the headache reflex is, so let's go here. And visually they made a connection, a physical connection, a mental connection, and when they worked on it, they could also add the emotional connection to the reflex point as well. So, you know, our classes were very, very hands-on, and that's why people enjoyed learning reflexology. It's because we could make it fun. So, and here's I don't know if you can see these slides here. This is the slides that I used to use when I taught reflexology. Oop, that one's upside down, isn't it? And that is one for the diaphragm. So I would have an overhead projector, and I would put it up there, and I'd say, okay, everyone. And I would personally go around and show them the exact spot according to a reflexology map on the hand that would reflect the diaphragmatic reflex. Okay, so let's take that one step further. in the eFlexonics program, I'll come around and I'll show you that exact spot. And then with our eyes closed, we will do progressive relaxation while working on that spot, and then turn that spot into a trigger mechanism. And then when you've taken the course, you can work on your hands right at your desk, and you will tell yourself, okay, there's a suggestion there that when I work on this spot, I will flex my diaphragm and then I will relax my diaphragm. It is a trigger mechanism, and I found that it works really, really well. So let's get on to another aspect of reflexology and how it was explained to me. Oh,